Just a post-match interview here at Creasey Park after Biggleswade FC have won 2-1 against AFC Dunstable. Skip, we'll start with you. Must be absolutely thrilled with that to get a win. Probably wasn't our best performance, but in terms of grit, resilience, digging deep after we got pulled back to 1-1, it's probably as good a away performance from us as a team as it can get, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it was a game for the purists how we try and play, but sometimes you got to earn the right to win games of football, and I thought we started well. We had a game plan that we didn't want to give any soft goals away or any chances away, and I thought the first half, I said at half time, I thought the first half is as good as first half performance that we've had. You could even argue ever. I know we've had games where you've gone in 4 or 5-0 up, but you're looking at the opposition and they're a strong side, but we seem to play Dunstable 3, 4, 5 times a season, so it's a 50-50 game. So we've turned up today. I cracked the joke on the sideline at 1-1. If it was a bet in then, I'd cashed out at 1-1. I was quite happy with 1-1 because you just felt there was another goal in it, but you couldn't say which way. They looked dangerous. They were winning the free kicks and were loading the box up, etc. And yeah, very happy with the win, because Dunstable are a good side. I think before today, if they won their games in hand, they went above us. So yeah, overall, we've done everything that we wanted to, winning headers, etc. I'm proud of the lads, really, because I've been critical a little bit sometimes. We start poor and we don't compete early enough in the games, but I thought today we have. But again, you look at Dunstable and they come back second half, scored, had enough free kicks, corners in the second half. They were causing us trouble. So that game, it was a toss of the coin, and it's come down our side, thankfully, for today.
Dave, I was just going to say about the I can't remember what I was going to say now. You've just killed me there. Oh yeah, we were saying on the side, there was a few people saying on the sideline that maybe a draw would be a good result here today. But when we look at the other final results, was it important that we got the win, or is a win a bonus?
I think from where we were in the game at the time, I think it's a big bonus, because like we were talking, and I think we'd have taken 1-1 at that time, because there wasn't a great deal in it. They were still setting up there. You know, we had to win loads of headers and different things in our box. But it's quite strange that we just started to play then. It's quite a strange thing that they had us, I felt, sort of in a headlock almost for a 5-minute period after the goal, when you're thinking, and that's when we're probably saying we take a point, and then it kind of relaxed off of us and we started to play again. And I thought George and when Mackay come on, Mackay done so really,
did very well.
Done really well for us.
Good impact cameo, wasn't it?
Correct, yeah, and so real pleased. Alex, I thought Alex led the line superb as well for us, and we just started to play then. And I suppose it's one of those. At that point, maybe they'd have taken a point as well, because it was such a big game at the top, and for us to go and nick it towards the end was great, and especially with George, who's had a load of problems with his hamstring and that, and taking him weeks to get back, for him to go and nick it. It was scruffy, and he'll tell you himself it was scruffy, but well, we don't really mind it. You know, we just kept going and going and going, and then 4 minutes. I think once we scored, I think the time went up for 4 minutes, but it seemed like forever. But
I thought we played it out well after we scored the winner. I say we've sometimes been critical of our game management and the way we see games out, but I thought we did all the right things. It might have seemed like a long period of time, but I thought we controlled it very well.
And that was probably more Alex and Adam, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, they were very clever in the corner, because they looked like they were going to try and keep it in the corner for 4 minutes, and 2 or 3 times they broke out into the box and caused. In fact, looked at one period like we might go and nick a third. So it wasn't just a case of them keeping it in the corner only, and then of course they win a couple of throw-ins and what have you, and it just takes the time out of the game. And you're right, because when we went to Tame a few weeks ago, when we was in front, when Alex should have took it in the corner, he took a shot and it allowed them to get out. So you're right. You know, we keep learning. Skip goes on about it all the time, that we keep learning. They do. They talk about it all the time. You know, we just, I keep saying how that James does all the clever stuff, but we just keep adding the touches to it all the time and remind them of certain things. But they, as you say, they set out brilliant today.
We spoke on Tuesday after the game, James, obviously off camera, about tactically in the first sort of 20-25 minutes of the game, not taking any risks, just not trying to play too much, and just there was quite a lot of that in the first opening to the game. I thought it was scrappy, but I think we also did the right things and we sort of limited them to any sort of real chances as well, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, and I think as a club we've been guilty. We want to play a certain way. Sometimes the players do that literally and think that you've got to do that from first second, the minute the whistle's blown from the referee. So I think the fact that we could mix it up and we knew how Dunstable played and the sort of threat they had, for us to start that was really pleasing, and I think it's a sensible thing to do from the players, because ultimately you're aware of the threat that we have from the aerial balls that you say in wide areas and set pieces. So rather than going gung-ho, putting the ball in behind them a few times and making them turn and spin rather than them coming onto the ball and putting us back under pressure. That was encouraging from the game on Tuesday.
Dave, it was obviously disappointing to concede in the manner we did in the equaliser, but in the main, apart from the goal, we defended their set piece delivery, which we knew would be a real challenge for us for the majority of the game, didn't we?
Yeah, I have to give all the credit to James, who you've just spoken to, because I set up every week who, if you like, the names of who's going to defend them, but we won't tell you what James did, but we set it up a certain way today to defend things, or James did, and I think they carried it out superb. But you are right. The shame is that it's probably the only header Dan didn't win.
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, of a game, look, let's be fair, it's a game with very few chances. They've created, or they've got their head onto one, and it's a great header from the centre half, to be fair, and it's probably the one time they got the run on Dan. And the shame is that was the one, we had that period, we'd give a free kick out on our right-hand side. 2 seconds later, we've given another free, and it's both of them are no need to be, they're challenges that don't need to be making. And you just felt, I actually said before they scored it, literally I said, we keep setting them up. And that was my only concern, that we're giving them what they want from positions of no need. You are right, and as I say, we defended. I think we got it spot on today. Look, we have, because of the result, and to cut them down to nothing. But that credit has to go to the guy at my left, not to me, or Skip. Don't let him take it.
It's a good job the light works well on this phone, because it's a lot brighter on here than it is out here. So Skip, just looking ahead to Wednesday, obviously we've got AFC Dunstable again.
Yeah.
Does winning today have any bearing on what might happen, or
not really?
Will we set up any differently personnel wise? Will we sort of shuffle the pack like we did against Biggleswade?
It won't make any bearing, because we seem to play, like I said earlier on, we play them 2, 3, 4 times a season. So
they know plenty about us, and we know plenty about them.
There's no point coming to watch them, because we know enough about them, and they've probably watched us enough times, and they know enough about us. So ultimately, that was quite a physical game out there. There was no malice in it, but it was a physical game. So there's a lot of knocks, bruises, etc. So we'll have a chat with them on Wednesday, and we'll be playing other players. I'm going to guess, purely because we've got a good squad. We can't just play the same 11, so there'll be a few changes. There's 1 or 2 that played on Tuesday just gone. Mackay being an example, who played very, very well, but he was on the bench today. So yeah, those who are starting to playing well. So it's very hard to say to certain players you're going to play every game. But I'm looking forward to Wednesday again, because I think I enjoy playing against Dunstable, because the managers are fine. I get on all right. I get on all right with most managers in this league, and it's a cup game. We've got an opportunity of winning that cup, but then Dunstable will say exactly the same, and then Bedford will say exactly the same, and whoever else is still in the comp will say exactly the same. But so yeah, it's important. Wednesday's important, because I'd like to win that one as well and get into a semi-final, and then it gives us extra midweek games. Because I think after Wednesday, I think we've only got, as it stands, one midweek game in the league. So
that's right.
Yeah, big game Wednesday.
Just finally, James Bondy hobbled off, looked like a nasty ankle turn. Any news on him at the moment?
I think he just rolled it, and so we'll assess that. But I think hopefully he'll be okay. But yeah, that was a precaution. Like I said, Mackay did really well, and he came on George Bailey. So it was, as you just sort of said to Skip earlier, we've got players coming back from suspension, injuries. George scored the winner from being injured,
and still Pat's come back from suspension.
Exactly
as well.
That, yeah, and a couple of others from injury, which were around the corner. So strong squad, and yeah, good outcome.
Well done, gents. Enjoy
Thank
your
you.
evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.